I have in my hands these PXG irons. First one I have is the PXG 0317T. This is the more bladed of the three clubs with a little bit less offset, so this sticks out a little bit less. And it's got quite a nice thin top edge, so it does look quite inviting behind the ball. We then go into the 0317CB, which is cavity back. We've got a little bit more help on it. We've got a little bit more perimeter weighting, so weight around the outside of the head. And then the Gen 7 0311P. This is a very different club to the other two. It's kind of in a different category, but we'll see what it does compared. The lofts will be different, so the distances might change a little bit, but in terms of the cavity on the clubs, the more weight we have at the base of the club, the higher the ball can launch. So sometimes they strengthen the loft because they've got more weight at the base. That's what they say anyway. But we go from this bladed club into the CB, and then the CB has more weight around this bottom. It has more weight on that toe, more weight on that heel, and they've got this mechanism here where they've taken the weight out of the middle, and you can change this weight, and I will play around with that on a future video. But when you hit the ball off center, you hit it off center and it deflects the club, and the club can twist. So when you have a bit more mass on that toe and that heel, it can reduce how much it twists. So with a blade, there's not as much weight at the bottom, there's weight higher up, which launches the ball lower with more spin. So you're looking for more control into the greens. And then when we go into something more like the 0311P, we get more weight lower down, we get it spread out, so we're looking for higher launch, lower spin in general to help us get a bit more distance. And distance is a big factor of what people look for in an iron. Now if I do this with a PXG golf ball, the PXG Xtreme Tour, and the shaft I have on these is a Modus 105 stiff. So I've got the same shaft on each of these clubs, and we're just seeing what the difference is in the heads alone. Now that does look naughty behind the ball. It is a much smaller head. Whoa. Maybe a little bit more upright than I'm used to. So when the club's more upright, it will send the ball left easier for a right-handed golfer. I prefer to be two flatter, but in this demo iron, in this demo kit, I've only got standard. So I might just aim a little bit right at the pin. Just like that, and then I aim right at the pin, and naturally it stays there. Welcome to golf. And for a blade, generally speaking, I remember the 0211 STs, and the 0211 STs were a more bladed club. They were just on that lower price bracket, price range from PXG, and they sold really well because they were so low in cost for something that looked really quite clean and nice. There wasn't too much going on with it. But as a blade, that was a very forgiving blade. They did a lot of things that something with more cavity would do, just in a smaller packet, maybe more appealing club to the lower handicapper. But for a more bladed club so far on those few shots, it feels nice. That feels very solid, to be fair. Absolutely zero complaints. Maybe the shaft's a bit too soft, but that is nothing to do with the head itself. Custom fitting is a big factor in purchasing golf clubs. Even if you go through the phone call conversation that you can find on the PXG website in the UK, that's a big thing because they don't have as many fitting centers for the clubs. In America, I think the fitting centers are much more widely available, but there is a lot of online purchasing in the PXG brand. That feels very powerful. Let's see what the CB feels like. Cavity back. Again, straight back on the same shaft. So the top line is just a bit thicker, but the head size looks about the same. So it does look quite appealing. It's not a massive jump in size or anything. It is literally just kind of the same sort of shape with just a little bit of a different design on the back. We'll see how that different design transfers. Maybe get a feel for how a combo set might work. So combo sets are very popular in the likes of the Strixon line, where you go ZX7 up to a certain point and then you go ZX5 on the higher ones or ZX4 in the higher ones. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a lot of combo sets made in these. Although I don't think the blade, the 0317T, is that unforgiving. That was a bit of a drop kick. Nice, comes off the face really well. Feels good. Oh, near the pin. Right, so let's see what happens when we jump up to the 0311P. And I believe that P stands for player's iron. Compared to the blade, we've got a longer blade length. No, we don't, it's the same. So the length of the face where they've got the grooves is about the same. We've just got a bit less space on the toe on the blade, and we've got a bit more space on the toe with the normal one, but there's no grooves there. So, and I'm expecting more ball speed, I'm expecting more distance, I'm expecting lower spin. That doesn't look too bad. I'll put the right head on, yeah. It's not actually that much bigger. Whoa, tiny bit thin. and I've still carried it further. Right. Feels pretty powerful. It feels like there's a bit more. Feels like there's a bit more release off the face. Don't know if that's a hollow body construction. Normally a hollow body has a hole in the toe there. This doesn't. I don't know. I mean, like in the manufacturing process, to make it hollow, the air's got to escape somewhere. Maybe it comes out of this bit here instead. So I don't know if that's hollow. I think it is, because it's like they were battling with TaylorMade on the P790 at one point. Definitely packs a punch. Karoo! Right, that's in the air for ages. Right, one more of them. Okay, let's have a look at the old numbers. It's flown the green. Whoops. So let's just see if there's any random ones to take out. I've got all doing a, they're all over 130. That slowest one there was a little bit less. Got 175 there, that's a bad strike. Speed's down. And on this one, what have we got? We've got all looking pretty good, all looking pretty good. There's a 184 there with a different spin rate to the rest. And I've taken out the one that's a different spin rate there. And there's one anomaly there where the spin dropped a bit more, but okay. I'm going to keep all of the 0311 shots in. But first thing to look at in comparison is my club data. So on average, I was faster with the CB. Okay, so I probably got through them pretty well. Faster, but the lower strike rate. 1 second. CB. No, CB, I had less of a less of a rebound off it. Okay, but I had, my path was 2.5, 1.3, 2.2, so I got a bit more with the 0317T. I hit down on it at 7.0, 7.7, 7.1, so I'm hitting down on it about the same amount. My path was slightly different. Maybe that one is a little bit exaggerated because I aimed further right and then gradually stopped aiming further right with these, but so be it. We're looking pretty similar. Clubhead speed, 97 knots. I'm faster with the CB, but I didn't get as much out of it. And I've got a little bit more rebound off the face on the 0311P Gen 7, but it is a different type of head. Ball data wise, speed, faster on the Gen 7, yep, okay, that's expected. Same on these two, similar sort of launch, more spin on the CB. I expected more spin on the T, but so be it. 185 against 188, that thing is powerful, that 0317T. I probably wouldn't want to combo set them, I'd want to just stay in them. But peak height with the 0317T, the blade, 113, 115 in the CB, 2 feet different, nothing to worry about. 116, a little bit higher in the Gen 7. Angle of descent, 48, so coming in steeper with the CB. So the CB is slightly higher, slightly steeper, slightly more spin. So a lot more control from that CB coming into the green. Less spin on the 0317T, so maybe a little bit more powerful of a head. Going just that touch lower with that touch lower spin. I expected that to be the other way round, which is a common theme at the minute. I had a bit more draw, I had a bit less draw, and I had just less draw there with that. So with a bladed head, you do tend to be able to shape it more sideways. So just showing that extra bit there on them. But yeah, like this is powerful. 194, much longer, but it's doing it because it's faster and lower spinning, so it's launching like a 6-iron would in this and getting a different number from it. So dispersion rings tightest in the Gen 7. Well, the Gen 7's further up, but it's not that tight. Slightly tighter in the white one, which is the CB. The CB is probably the most impressive one for me because it's got the most spin, the most control into it. If you're chasing distance, get in the Gen 7. But there we have it, 3 different models in the current lineup of PXG heads. There are more models available, but they're just the ones that I got. Have you used them? Do you want to use them? Let me know in the comments and see if I can answer. But I'll see you on the next video.